Olympian Kat Holmes. Kat, we caught up with you a few months ago to talk kind of about the qualification, your training, everything else. Since then, or I guess seeing you now here this week at Summer Nationals, there's a noticeable change in your physique. You're looking incredibly fit, maybe taller. What's going on with your training?
Well, ever since the last World Cup, we have Pan Am Championships, but apart from that, like, it's really just been focusing on the Olympics. So we don't have that cycle of tournament, 3 weeks, tournament, 3 weeks, tournament. So it gives me a lot more flexibility to actually train and really focus on like a long-term plan. So in this season, you don't really have time to do a whole lot of conditioning or strengthening because you're constantly tapering and recovering from tournaments. So now, from the last World Cup, I think there was like 10 weeks in between. And so I wanted, as I mentioned before, like I want to do everything in my power to really, when I get up on that Olympic stage, say, there's nothing else I could have done. I did everything I could to prepare. So I started running. I run 5 miles every morning now before I go to practice. So I run 5 miles, go home, eat some breakfast, and then I take about an hour-long lesson. I do an hour of footwork, and then I go on the rowing machine for 20 minutes to help kind of strengthen my upper back and my shoulders, because that's one thing that definitely gets neglected during the season, because I don't want to be too stiff and too sore, because I'm always competing. I haven't really been lifting, but just the running and the addition of the running and the rowing has really made a difference. And then, going to the games, since the last World Cup, haven't had a sip of alcohol. I no longer have dessert. I have a tiny little piece of dark chocolate because I need a little something sweet before bed. But it's just, the Olympics is such a big motivator that it's easy to say, I don't want that cookie. I don't want that drink. Yeah, I'm going to push myself for that extra mile. I'm going to go an extra 10 minutes. It's just very easy to push yourself. And then the bouting, I've been bouting really hard, so I kind of have the more technical in terms of my lesson and my footwork and conditioning in the morning, and then at night, I bout for 2 or 3 hours. Every bout that I can get in, almost until I fall down, I've been trying to do. And I can do that right now because I have the time to then taper when it comes closer to the games. But I just want to be, I'm already, I think, in the best shape of my life, and I've got another, about a month, a little over a month until I compete, and I'm going to keep pushing it, and then 2 weeks before the games start to kind of taper, so that when I walk onto that stage, I'm ready.
Kat, you've been a national team member and elite level athlete already for several years. Your training is already at a very high level. Why adding to it 5 miles a day of running, and why that number?
So when I came back from the last World Cup, I felt like I needed to change kind of something. I wanted to do a little bit more conditioning, and running was just easy. There's a really nice path in Princeton that kind of takes you on this dirt trail kind of along the canal. And I didn't even know the distance at first. I just kind of started running it. And then I kind of looked it up online, and I was like, 5 miles. And I was like, okay, that works for me. So it's a comfortable distance for my body. It takes a little under an hour for me to do, 45, 50 minutes. And it's just a good addition. And it makes me feel really good. My fencing, I think I'm faster, I'm lighter. My body just really responded very positively to it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to keep doing this. And actually, after the Olympics, I think I'd like to train for a half marathon before I go back to school. So just kind of something fun else to kind of focus on.
You talked about the impact or the changes you've seen since running, or since you began running. Obviously, anyone who knows a fencer, the legs are everything. For you, where are you seeing it most? Is it the mobility? Is it the explosiveness? Or is it just generally the looseness that you're feeling in your fencing?
I'd say primarily in the mobility. Footwork has never been the strongest component of my game, but now I'm finding that I can kind of notch my footwork up to another level, and also the endurance, that I can keep it there, so I can really push the footwork now at high intensity for longer periods at a time. And that's also, I've been amping up the footwork that I do within, so I do an hour of footwork every day, and 15 minutes of that is very high intensity. So I think that combined with the running, I'm just able to go faster, harder, stronger for much longer now.
Because footwork is so key at your elite level.
Yeah.
Why not plyometrics or conversely, why not biking to alleviate some of the kind of pounding and repetition your joints already
I don't
experience?
love the biking because I've been having some issues with my back, and it kind of makes you hunch over, which really bothers it. And then I do some plyo, so I do ladder and I do box jumps and stuff. But at this point, I mean, so for the first 4 weeks out of that 10 weeks in between the last World Cup and the Olympics, it would have been a good time to do it. But the running just kind of felt so good that I was like, why not just kind of keep going with this? And then so I generally do a lot of plyo in the preseason. So like from, I guess not this year because I'm going to take a little time off at the Olympics, but from late August through mid-October is when I do a lot of the plyo to kind of get a jump start on the season. But like I said, like the running just really spoke to me and it clicked. So.
All right. Well, we hope to see you continue going, Kat, and thanks again. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.